Paramount just cleared its first hurdle in its conquest of Warner Brothers. Let's talk about it and so much more in this episode of Beyond the Screen. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of Beyond the Screen. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me, as always, is the one and the only and the hissing. I don't know what that was, Jake Holtzclaw. Bro, like, you like, showed your teeth for a second there. What was that about? Uh-huh. We got it on tape. Hiss. We got it on tape. You didn't hiss. Okay, what was that, then?
I don't remember.
Bro had a moment. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out there in your moment.
Emily didn't see anything.
I saw it, and it's on tape. So read them and weep, buddy. Read them and weep.
Bro's imagination, she says.
Bro's imagination. A lot has happened in the world of entertainment. First off, Oliver Tree. How sad, genuinely.
Why are you going to bring that up?
Well, because it's sad. It's in the world of entertainment. How tragic. Like, now, I won't lie. He was more of a meme than he was like an artist for me and my friends. Like we weren't listening to Oliver Tree. I won't say seriously because his music was like all over the place. Like he made a lot of money off of his music. However, he was still someone who was like on the internet. And have you seen any of his interviews, especially since he's passed, with like what he's doing with his money and like all that stuff? He created a fund, and he apparently like, now, if this is true, what he said in the interview, which I would assume it is, he's created this grant or this fund that is going to take all the wealth that he has made and all the residuals from his music, and it's going to fund future artists and future creatives. So he's giving back, and he's like putting enough aside to pay for his kids to get through school, but like the rest of it, like they're not touching anything else outside of that. Like the rest of it's going to that fund, and that's just like what he wanted his legacy to be. Was like, yeah, like he said it in multiple interviews prior to, but he was like, yeah, I want my money and the residuals to go to funding and giving grants to creatives of the future, which is like sick for a guy that like when you see like his like goofy videos and his goofy music, like you don't think of him being like that, you know, but apparently he was like a really cool guy, which is kind of why I wanted to bring it up, is because it's like now that he's gone, a lot of people have kind of gone back and retroactively seen all that stuff and been like, actually, this guy was really cool, and we're worse without him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I didn't know that, but that was very cool.
Yeah.
Sucks because he was big in like high school. I remember when he like came about on, what was it, like iFunny and early days of TikTok and even Vine. Like I remember him doing more of the skits before he got into music.
Wasn't he like a professional skateboarder as well? Like he did a lot of stuff.
I remember he brought like the baggy jean, like the Jinkos back before they were even cooler. Like he just brought them.
He also was he was the Despicable Me dude. Like for a while, he was the joke of what was his name in the villain in the first one? Vector. That's it. He like portrayed Vector because he got the haircut and he kind of looked like Vector. Those were funny, but like. I just, anytime if you ask me to think of Oliver Tree, all I think of is him is hanging from the chandelier that in that music video that literally was everywhere. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
it was all over TikTok and Instagram, but it's his song, Life Goes On, I think is what the song's called.
Oni noni non.
Oni noni non. Yeah, that one. Yeah. He, in the music video for that, he's hanging from a chandelier as like endless amounts of himself or like bop into the song. Like that was like used as a meme for a while too, but I don't know. It's like when you look back, like in the moment, it's like, okay, like this guy is just, he's funny, but it's like just another creator. It's like, it's sad that we act that way. You know, like we don't like, it's a tale as old as time. We don't appreciate something till it's gone. But like looking back, like he genuinely was kind of a light. Like he brought a lot of fun in his music, and he just released an album and was on a world tour and just like all this stuff. Like the dude was only 32. So literally everything for him was like looking up, and yeah, tragic. I just wanted to bring that to light, especially like his more philanthropic endeavors, especially.
I'm not getting on any helicopters.
Too many.
From here on.
First Kobe, and now Oliver Tree.
I don't know if he was the first.
Well, we'll say Kobe first, and in the last decade,
Let's see.
bro's looking up helicopter deaths.
Eh,
It is very scary, and it is just sad because again we lost another good one. I fear, and so people of the internet mourn and R.I.P. Oliver Tree, the man, the myth, the legend. Genuinely, I'm not saying that sarcastically, like genuinely. Do you have any?
Stevie Ray Vaughan. Was he a helicopter? I thought he was a plane. Stevie Ray Vaughan is a plane.
Okay.
No, it was a helicopter. Yeah, he's the third.
Oh,
Stevie Ray Vaughan. That was in the 90s, though. You'd expect them to have made strides since.
yeah.
And it appears helicopters are as dangerous as ever.
Well, they always say like flying by plane is like safer than driving a car. Is like that's like the phrase used when like you talk to pilots or whatever. But I just wonder what's so different. Like obviously besides aerodynamics and just the nature of how the vehicle is operated, but I wonder why flying a helicopter seems to be so much more dangerous. Like what are the innate, you know what I mean, dangers that
It
are
goes
not
straight
present?
down.
Well, yeah, but not just. I just wonder if like the propellers. I wonder if they're more prone to being like caught by like wind gusts. You know, like is it like besides the fact that it's probably harder to land? Like, is it
Well,
harder
do
to
you
control?
know like Oliver's
No,
instance?
no. I don't like to look into stuff like that. Like
It was
I
2 helicopters.
I would really see. I would much rather celebrate the person. I don't really, because a lot of people care very deeply about like the
Yeah.
specifics. I'm not like that. I'm not. So
Yeah.
I saw it was a helicopter crash and just I'm good
Yeah.
enough. Like that's good enough for me.
I wanted to know just like based on foul play, and
Oh yeah.
they're still thinking it was an accident, but it was 2 helicopters collided. Whereas Kobe's was like inclement weather caused it, like super dense fog and mountain range.
Right. Yeah. In
Was Kobe.
LA. Yeah.
But Oliver's was in Brazil with 2 separate helicopters colliding, and then it just immediately like they just fall out of the sky.
Mm.
So nobody really knows yet. Brazil's doing the investigation. So
hopefully there's a kind of a resolution. Yeah. Like there's got to be something. I if it's 2, I would assume that it was not intentional. And it just everyone involved, because he wasn't the only one, and hopefully thoughts and prayers to all those people involved in that, because that is tragic all around. But yeah, want to specifically highlight Oliver Tree, and hopefully all those things are true that he was talking about in his interviews, and that those grants go out to those people, and like, because that's very cool. Like that's a really cool way to kind of cement your legacy and like give back after all those years of success, like to kind of give to the next generation of creative. I really, that stuck with me. And he's got a story too. Like I think in another interview he said he was like an addict who like he got out of it, and like that's how he turned his life around, was like he had these issues and he turned his life around and now he's giving back. Like that's really cool. And so again, it's really unfortunate that we figure this out now that he's gone, like that, just how cool he actually was. But like I'm sure his dedicated fan base are like, we knew, and thank you for being people who paid attention. But yeah, it's very sad. Any other thoughts on Oliver Tree while we start?
I do not. There were just some YouTubers in there and his producer, it would appear.
I got you. Very quickly, we have some breaking news that happened literally a couple of hours ago before we started recording. Fox is set to acquire Roku for $22 billion. That's a B, 22 with a big old B. Yes, that's the same Fox company that sold off 20th Century and all that to Disney not that long ago. They're now back in the game. And I've been reading up on this, and I usually come into these if I'm going to break it down with a lot more. But because it broke so quickly, or so recently, I should say, I don't really have a lot of information other than what I have here and kind of what we had been talking about, me and Jake, before we were recording, and Emily. By the way, Emily's back behind the scenes. We're happy to have her back pushing buttons, and it's not me fumbling trying to find the right graphic. Anyway, this deal reintroduces a guy by the name of Charlie Collier, who was at Fox as the head of entertainment before leaving for Roku in 2022. This guy that is now, again, being brought back into the fold with Roku being bought by Fox. He was the one who launched Gordon Ramsay's Ramsay Global Studio and acquired Bob's Burgers producers Bento Box. So he's the one who brought all these people, and now Bob's Burgers, that their production house, Bento Box, is what is described by Deadline as, quote, the driver for Fox Entertainment Studios. So there's a lot going on here in terms of why Fox will have wanted to have done this and why they're doing this, because instead of trying to launch their own streamer, instead of trying to compete with the bigger bodies, they essentially make themselves something else. They're not home-growing a streaming platform. They're not home-growing these things to try to say we're going to compete with Netflix, Paramount, Amazon, and Disney. They say we're going to buy Roku, which a lot of people buy stuff through Roku. So they're not only getting data about what people buy, but they're also getting data about what people watch, because a lot of people watch things through the Roku channel. Secondarily, this helps their programming because they can adjust using that data. And the home screen, which is said by in the Deadline article, it's a quote from what they call one source close to Roku. The home screen is the home screen is massively powerful, excuse me. So they're going to use that home screen to market more of their stuff on top of adjust their programming to see what else. So this deal puts them in closer league to Amazon and Google, because on Roku, and many of you will know I have a Roku TV at my house. Jake has a Roku TV at his house. You can simplify your subscription, however many subscriptions you have, by subscribing to that platform through the Roku app. So instead of going to all the individual apps, you can subscribe to HBO Max, Disney Plus, Amazon, all that through Roku itself on the home screen in one simple place. Now Fox has that. Fox now has the opportunity to do that. This has to close next year. So there's, just like with the Paramount, this is going to be a long and drawn out process because the world of bureaucracy and law moves slow. So there's a lot that could still happen, and this could still not go through. However, again, this doesn't put Fox in league with Disney and all them. They're not doing the streaming route. This puts them in the digital age and puts them in comparison in leagues comparable to Amazon and Google. That's where they're going with this because of the data they're getting, all of the various services Roku has to offer, and just the ad revenue that they're going to be able to own from the home screen, from Roku City and all that stuff. Now Fox now owns that. So it's going to be very interesting to see where they go from here. So keep an eye out. A lot of mergers and a lot of acquisitions going around in today's day and age. Jake, what do we think?
I'm thinking that the Roku channel about to go crazy with all the Fox owned IPs. I mean, what do we get? What do we get? What do they got?
Well, The Simpsons. That's again Bob's Burgers. Fox Sports, you're going to see a lot more Fox Sports stuff, which you already see some of that a little bit. Like Colin Cowherd, his thing is on my thing all the time. I'm trying to think what else. Fox and Friends will now start getting ad space on the Roku channel. But I am interested to see how this pivots their linear offerings.
What's going to happen to Tubi?
I don't know. That's another interesting concept. Is Roku of itself does produce original content a lot like Tubi. So do they now have duplicate of the same service? Does that mean one of them is going to go away? Are they going to try to envelop? I would say what they're probably going to do is, instead of it being a Roku original, everything that is Roku will just become a Tubi original. It'll just be overtaken by all that. So the Great American Baking Show, which is produced by Roku, is just going to be Tubi. All the stuff's going to be the same, but they're just going to envelop it all together.
Dude, do we get Nat Geo?
I suppose.
I think so.
But yeah, this is a very interesting acquisition. I don't mind in terms of Fox now putting themselves in position, but where I do get concerned with this is we're getting less and fewer options. Roku as of itself, I never would have even thought you could buy Roku. Who would have thought Roku was going to sell? Because think about how many people have a Roku television or the Roku adapter that you plug into your HDMI port to make your TV a Roku. So I worry simply for the restricted offerings that we're getting. But according to the government, which we'll talk about this today, as long as you're in competition with the big leagues, it does not matter. It doesn't matter if there's only 5 or 6 offerings. There are still 4 or 5 other opportunities to go and watch. So We'll get into more what I mean by that, because our major story today, as we kind of led in with, is more Paramount news, because there was a big break in the case that is Warner Brothers and Paramount. We'll talk about that later, because we always start our show, we're 15 minutes over, so forgive us. We got to talk about Oliver Tree and then breaking news with Fox. However, we start our show every single week with box office news. So let's hop in with our predictions. Each and every week, me and Jake end our first segment by talking about what we think the following weekend will look like. We keep track. We have a season total, and there will be a winner come the end of the season at the Oscars in 2027. So it's a long haul. This is week 14, so this will be our 13th straight week doing the predictions. Jake has the lead. Let's see how we did this past weekend. I will start. I went 2 of 5, having Disclosure Day at 1, Scary Movie 6 at 2, Backrooms at 3, Obsession at 4, and Masters of the Universe at 5. That 1 through 5 only got me 2 correct. Jake got 3 out of 5. His hot streak continues, as Jake got Disclosure Day at 1, Scary Movie 6 at 2, Obsession at 3, Backrooms at 4, and Masters of the Universe at 5. So again, I had 2 out of 5 correct, and Jake had 3. We, every single week, are in competition with a bot. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We compete with our lovely bot, who we call TJ. He is Claude. We allow him the breadth of the internet to make decisions and pull information from to see how we compare. And he is no better than we are, because Claude got 1 out of 5 correct. His predictions were Disclosure Day at 1, Scary Movie 6 at 2, Obsession at 3, Masters of the Universe at 4, and Backrooms at 5. Our season totals thus far: Jake increases his lead very narrowly, 35 to TJ and I's 31 points. So very close lead. We are all right there. Go ahead, Jake.
It's anybody's game, man. It's anybody's game.
It is. All it will take is one good week from any of us to change the tide. Like, you either push yourself out to a pretty substantial lead, or TJ or I take the lead. Like, that is how close we are in standing.
We got to play it safe, chat.
It's going to be very fun. And so we'll get to what we predict this upcoming weekend to see how we continue to fare next week. But first, let's go back to the top. Let's read through 1 through 5 and tell you the accurate box office top 5. Starting at number 1, Disclosure Day wins the box office after making $44 million domestically. Followed by Obsession at number 2. It continues to stick around. Obsession will not die. Then Scary Movie 6 at 3, The Backrooms at 4, and Masters of the Universe rounds out our top 5 in 5th place. Let's go back to Disclosure Day. Again, in its domestic opening, the Disclosure Day, the Steven Spielberg directed debut, earned $44 million and $92.9 million globally on a $115 million budget, not counting marketing. So it's going to probably hit the black at the very least. It's not there. They will not lose money on this film. It's a Steven Spielberg. Spielberg is back, by the way. This is the first time he's been at the top of the box office for a decade. It's been a drought for the man, but this is arguably the best filmmaker in the history of filmmaking. So you knew it was a matter of time. Something interesting the dailies pointed out is how the audience leaned older. Like 35 years old and above, which is the polar opposite of what we've seen from the box office to start the summer. Remember, Obsession and Backrooms, along with The Amazing Digital Circus and some of these other films, have dominated the box office. YouTube creators or these horror films, or both, that have been dominated by 25 or younger. So this is the first film of the summer frame that is being really held up by the older generations, or the millennials and up. The film has an 80% on the tomato meter and a 72% on the popcorn meter. So overall, a decently unified audience and critic response. While great that they have an 80% and a 72%, like, this is good. Good for the film. An 80 at the highest does not really signify great box office legs. The continuance in the coming weeks might wane. We will see, just because word of mouth might not be that high. But it'll be very interesting to follow. It's a Steven Spielberg, so more than likely, especially with the older audiences, they don't tend to pack the first weekend. They have a tend to kind of stick around in the weeks to follow. So it'll be interesting to see how the difference in age groups going, and the word of mouth, how that will change how this film is received in its post-debut weekend. The Rotten Tomatoes synopsis of the film is, quote, "If you found out we weren't alone, if someone showed you, proved it to you, would that frighten you? This summer, the truth belongs to 8 billion people. Today is Disclosure Day." I love that. I think that's really sick. That's a very cool, like, hook. And I'm ecstatic to watch this.
I think you're of the ages above 35.
I am not.
Is Spielberg dead to Gen Z? Huh?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't really think he's dead to Gen Z. I just don't think Gen Z. Okay, he made the BFG. He made
Which
the BFG is a pretty good movie. West Side Story. Now this one, I just don't think he's made in Gen Z's comeuppance.
Yep.
He's not really made a lot of stuff like he was. This audience that's going, they grew up with however many Indiana Jones and E.T. and all that. Like, it makes sense. This is like Christopher Nolan for us in like 30 years. That's like what we're talking about essentially. But I do think that this will probably stick around for a little bit at the very least. Well, maybe not top 3 every single week, but it'll probably hang around that 4 or 5 spot for a while.
Ready Player One. I didn't even know that. I think that's the problem, is they don't know.
That's also true. I forgot, when was Ready Player One? Was that 2018?
2018.
I
He also did
completely
Adventures
forgot
of
about that.
Tintin, which also.
But that was like 2009. But again, that's
2011.
11, say, 2011, whatever. That's okay. The point is, again, that was still before. I'm counting like 2012 and up. Like, what's he done post Tintin? Because that one was like, I would say like, he
Lincoln.
did win. Didn't he win an Oscar for West Side Story? I'm pretty sure he did win an Oscar for West Side Story. Very well received. But Ready Player One is like the last really popular movie he came out with.
So good.
Yeah, Ready Player One's great.
I forget that. When you ask me to do my top 5, don't let me forget Ready Player One, because that's up there.
Okay, we should do that.
I like Ready Player One.
Do our letterbox top 4 and like why? That'd be pretty fun. Let us know if you want us to do that. But anyway, coming in second, I said it earlier, it won't die, ladies and gentlemen. Obsession. What is going on with this movie? The film has yet to gross less than its opener. In 5 weeks, it has grossed more every single week than it opened to. That has never happened before. That has to be a record. The film has grossed $19 million domestically and earned $286.5 million globally thus far.
It's over The Mandalorian domestically, at least.
Isn't that nuts?
Beat a Star Wars. That's crazy.
This is awesome. Like, original, smaller, like Neon as an indie developer. This is awesome that we're seeing these films have this, but it's just like, what is going on? Like, this is crazy. Yeah. But anyway, speaking of horror, we have a spoof and then another horror movie in our top 5. The spoof being Scary Movie 6. You probably knew it was coming. In its second week in theaters, it earned $14.5 million domestically and pushed its global total to $173 million. The Wayans brothers' 6th installment into the horror spoof franchise bombs in its second weekend, dropping by more than 73% in ticket sales. While this number is astronomical, that's a pretty high drop and not a great number for most films. The film has already well outgrossed the budget and marketing, so no one attached to this film is really particularly mad about this. In fact, a lot of people have made a lot of money off this film already, and it's probably going to gross over $200 million before it's all said and done. So no one's particularly mad about the 73% drop. Again, Scary Movie 6 continues to succeed. Coming in fourth is The Backrooms in its third weekend in theaters, earning $11.2 million in its third weekend, pushing its global run to $262 million. And lastly, rounding out our top 5 is Masters of the Universe in its third. Wait, was Backrooms in its fourth weekend or third? Did they debut at the same time? I think that I might have misread that. Backrooms is third. Backrooms is third.
Third week. Yeah,
both Backrooms and Masters of the Universe are third. For some reason, that feels wrong to me.
No, 2. Masters of the Universe is 2.
That I knew I got one of them wrong. In its second weekend in theaters,
it's the same as Scary Movie.
Okay, I thought so. I mistyped earlier. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen.
Jesus.
Masters of the Universe in its second weekend in theaters earns $8.4 million domestically. The film now has earned $86 million globally on a $170 million budget. The Leto curse continues, Jake, as the already lackluster debut follows up. See, I knew it was in its second weekend. Follows up its debut to a 71% drop.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Not cast Jared Leto.
Whoa, he didn't. There's nothing wrong with that guy. He did his best. He said he hated it.
No, I will say the last 2 movies, Jared Leto is not the problem, but Jared Leto is also not a good guy. Oh,
please. You send some people some malware, and now you're not a good guy. All right.
I don't think that's why people don't like him.
All right.
Anyway. Other news from around the box office, The Mandalorian and Grogu finishes 6th, and Michael sticks around at 7th, with the latter finally becoming the highest-grossing biopic of all time as it passes Bohemian Rhapsody. And The Amazing Digital Circus, The Last Act, finishes 10th. So, Jake, what do we feel about the box office? What catches your eye? Anything in particular?
Yeah. BTS World Tour in Busan.
Nuh-uh. No way.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 8, 3.8 milli. Milli rock. Yep.
You K-pop fans, y'all earn, you're crazy. You guys give them a lot of money. Like
1,000 theaters, by the way.
that's astronomical. 3.8 million on 1,000 theaters.
Yo.
The average theater earned $3,000.
Yeah.
Almost
Backrooms
4,000.
has 3,400 theaters, and it is making the same, if not less.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So imagine what you could have got if you put it in 3,000 theaters. That's practically 3 times the amount of money.
It's probably like a Fathom event where it was like, I know it's technically through. How do you pronounce that? Trafalgar.
There you go.
Yeah, that
like
word. Yeah, releasing. So it's probably like one of those like Fathom events where they essentially are like special edition and they only are in like one theater chain. That's what I'd imagine. Probably AMC.
You didn't go?
You knew I went.
Yeah. Quit acting like you don't know who or where. Is that your local one?
Yeah, I actually watched it like 7 times.
Right.
Anyway.
That's the reason they're so high.
Right. Of the 3,000 in ticket sales that each theater made, I probably paid my theater like $2,500. No lie. Anyway, continue.
Right. So Michael still at 7, and that's about it. Oh, the Amazing Digital Circus dropped 95%. I don't think that's true. It's still estimated. So
Interesting that it did update. It's not 10 anymore. It's 15.
what?
I'm looking at the box office. I refreshed the box office. Go to week 24 and refresh. It changed.
Nothing changed for me.
Right now, the Amazing Digital Circus, is it still at 10 for you?
15.
Oh, no. See, it's 15 now. Earlier today, before they renewed it, was at 10.
Oh, well, apparently the theaters didn't change, and it dropped 95% and only made $500,000, but it's still estimated. So I don't think that's right.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
And if it did, the theaters dropped drastically.
Yeah. I would say this. I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
That's about it.
I like seeing the continuity in some of these, like, again, Star Wars and Michael, especially. Michael is in its 8th week in theaters and it's still top 7, like, which is nuts. It's still in over 2,000 theaters, still earning $4 million. The film has grossed, we just said earlier that it's now the highest grossing biopic of all time. It's now grossed $934 million.
It actually gained some, and Memorial Day helped.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, crazy.
Anywho.
There's drama there.
And Michael, yeah, we talked about it a lot, actually.
Yeah, go watch the other episode.
Yeah. Our Michael breakdown was actually really good, so I recommend going and watching it and seeing what that drama is. However, with that out of the way, it's time for box office predictions. Jake, lead us off. Tell us your top 5 for this upcoming weekend and why.
All right. We got 3 that I know of wide releases. 1, Leviticus, horror movie by Neon. We gonna see what that does. This is not my top 5. I'm just telling y'all what the wides are. We got The Death of Robin Hood, Hugh Jackman coming out. We gonna see Robin Hood die, apparently. And then we got Toy Story 5, which is, to me, no point, but that's besides the fact. So my number 1, Toy Story 5. All right. I think that's going to get 100 million plus, probably straight out the get, maybe. Then I got Disclosure Day at 2. I'm just going to drop them down. Obsession at 3, I think. Right? And that wasn't that yeah. Drop them down. Then I got Backrooms at 4. I think that Scary Movie gone out of here. Drop 70%. It's going to drop 60, high 60s, I would say. It's going to slow down a little bit. It's not going to drop as hard. And then at 5, I'm taking Masters of the Universe out. Get them out of here. I got Death of Robin Hood at 5 because I don't think the dads that are taking their kids to Toy Story 5 are going to watch anything else besides Hugh Jackman and Robin Hood. Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad top 5 at all. In fact, I mean, before the show, I was having a real kind of existential crisis trying to decide like what I wanted to do with that 4th and 5th spot. I'm right with you, Jake, on 1 through 4. Toy Story 5, Disclosure Day, Obsession, and Backrooms. I think like we're going to see is just a slide down. Like really, like that's what's going to happen is Toy Story 5 is going to insert at 1. Steven Spielberg's got enough of a name, even with that audience today, to still have 2nd. And then you're going to see Obsession and Backrooms slowly fall. Now, TJ might be onto something, and I'm not going to say more than that.
Oh, he cooking?
Other than I did have a half a thought to drop Backrooms down from 4. My only issue is, and we talked about this before the show, we have like a 3 or 4 film race for like 3 spots, and that's 4, 5, and 6 in the top 6 of the box office this upcoming weekend. It's Backrooms, Scary Movie, Death of Robin Hood, and Leviticus. Like those 4 are fighting for those 3 spots. When I go through and I try to use logic, which it doesn't always come out logically. It's just sometimes you just never know. Scary Movie's going to drop. I don't think it's going to drop high 60s. I think it's going to kind of level out and be back in closer to the 50s range, maybe low 60s, high 50s, which is why I have it at Scary Movie at 5 because I'm playing it super safe just because I think Death of Robin Hood, it's not had the greatest marketing. I've not seen a lot of it. I know those who probably have more inclined with that type of movie might have seen more. The only time I've really seen Death of Robin Hood is when I've been at the movies. And while more people are going to the movies now than they have been in a while, I still don't know if that's enough. Leviticus is the same way, but I think people will much rather go watch Hugh Jackman than a independent distributor's horror movie. So it's between, for me, that 5th spot. I'm still going to stick Backroom at 4. I'm going to say it's between Scary Movie and Death of Robin Hood at 5. And that's going to be tight. It's going to be a very tough battle for 5 between those 2 in particular. I'm playing it safe. I'm putting Scary Movie there just because I don't think there's been enough. But it's Hugh Jackman. You can't really doubt Hugh Jackman. So I have
and he dies.
And he dies, obviously. So I'm interested. The last time he died in a movie, it made a lot of money. But anyway, I am very interested to hear more about Claude's top 5 because I had somewhat of an inkling to do something very similar, but I just can't. Because of the marketing side, I didn't go that route, but I am interested to hear more about Claude. So go ahead. Tell us what TJ predicted.
You want to do Emily's or do hers last?
No, she asked us.
No,
not to.
I don't want to do hers.
Emily did predict, by the way, but she just doesn't. She doesn't want us to read it. That's okay.
My fault. I didn't read that part. I just read her predictions.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
So Claude, Toy Story 5 at 1, Disclosure Day at 2, Obsession at 3. Got your normal top 3. That's what we have. Still could be a tied race coming next week. And then it's got Death of Robin Hood at 4 and Backrooms at 5. So it's swapping mine and saying you're dead wrong about Scary Movie. But I don't know. It's got some. Let's see. I'm reading Claude's reasoning. It's pulling a lot of like Rotten Tomato early reviews. Backrooms. Okay, I don't know if it knows what Backrooms is because it's talking about family demographics. And I was like, I don't think those overlap. Apparently it's going to be fighting with Disclosure Day. The Death of Robin Hood is fighting with Disclosure Day. That's what it's worried about.
Interesting.
I don't know if this is sound.
No, I don't trust
reasonings
that
here.
reasoning. I like its top 5. I just don't like why it got there. It's like you use the wrong formula but get the right answer somehow. Not you, but like when you do in school, like on math or something.
Yeah.
I have no problem with the idea of a Hugh Jackman led, like gory, real gritty, folklore esque tale making the top 4. Like there's a high probability of that. However, again, I just don't think the marketing was good enough for that type of film to succeed at that level. Again, I'm playing it safe with Scary Movie, but we will see. That 4 through 6 is going to be tough, dude. Like that's going to be a tough 1 through. And the thing is, with horror going the way it has this year, Leviticus could be top 3. Like the Leviticus could come out of nowhere, and this be the week Obsession finally falls down, and it go Leviticus Obsession Backrooms or Leviticus Obsession Scary Movie. Like that's where we're at. Like it could, like something could come out of nowhere. So I'm still not sold that Leviticus is going to do so bad, but I don't. Again, if common sense trying to piece it together with what we've seen before, I just don't think it'll compare or compete with Scary Movie or Death of Robin Hood, and that'll be the battle for 5 is between those two. And Backrooms could fall to 5 and it be one of the other 2 at 4. Like that's how tight it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm interested. I'm very curious to see where we go from here.
And I'm not going to be here next week.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
Vacation. That's what's up. Leave it to your boy to check it out.
I will be here, and Emily will be taking his spot. So you'll hear, you'll hear the duo themselves covering. And Jake, we will miss you heavily. We'll miss your quips. We'll miss your sarcasm. I will be getting back from vacation that day, so it's going to be a real fun, interesting dynamic. Mine's
not vacation. I work. I have to work.
I take 2. Instead of taking 1 big trip, we take 2 smaller ones, and 1 this month and 1 next month. And
I actually think I do have a vacation coming up too, so I will be out another day.
That's okay.
Another week.
We'll figure it out, but the point is, it'll be really fun next week. So please come back next week to see the levels that we will be bringing, because I don't know. It'll be so
come
fun.
back next week. We put a girl on.
Yeah. Oh! No. Anyway. That's a great way to end our segment. So coming up after the break, we talk about Paramount's latest victory in their quest for Warner Brothers. We'll see you right in a second. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Screen. Jake, we had the perfect opportunity for our YouTube watchers, you'll know what I'm meaning, to use this, the monkey. For those who don't know, for those who are on YouTube or not on YouTube, for those who are on Spotify or one of the audio platforms, it is a monkey going, like Surrender Cobra on the head, sad looking. We brought a girl on, and it's the monkey. Just that is where that'll be next week. But
Brian's
anywho,
sexist.
no, that's not
No,
that. No, that no, not true. But anyway, we're moving on. We are getting into our second story, which we've led it from the beginning. We've talked about it. The Justice Department just cleared Paramount's acquisition of Warner Brothers. That is a huge deal, because one of the biggest hurdles, the antitrust division of the Department of Justice, just took a deep look at this very thing we've been talking about for almost a year and said, checks out. Let's talk about what they said and the response. In the bureaucratic red tape that has been and will continue to be Paramount's acquisition of fellow Hollywood behemoth Warner Brothers, one of the company's biggest hurdles has just been cleared without a semblance of resistance. In a move that is a bit shocking to those online and to the chagrin of politicians, lawmakers, and Hollywood creatives everywhere who oppose the deal, the antitrust division of the Justice Department just approved, again, as we just said, Paramount's takeover of Warner Brothers with 0 strings attached. No changes have to be made. The deal as is approved by the DOJ, meaning no spin-off companies, no sold assets. The green light was given to the company as is. According to Variety, the antitrust division stated, quote, The division has completed its analysis of the proposed merger of Paramount and Warner Brothers and determined, based on the evidence received in its investigation, that the transaction is not likely to result in harm to competition or American consumers. This comment, further according to Variety, was in regards to streaming, linear television, and the film studio productions. The DOJ would continue to state that this 8-month investigation into the merger was rigorous and led to the division, or was led by division, or the division's career staff, excuse me. Reportedly, the inquiry contained over 2 million documents from 80 sources. Quote, this investigation included a review of reams of documentary evidence, hours of deposition testimony of senior-level executives, interviews with third-party witnesses, and staff-led meetings with the parties themselves. These investigative efforts all led to the same conclusion. The film and television industry is highly dynamic, and the proposed transaction is not likely to harm competition or American consumers. That's from Variety. Again, that sounds very similar to the last quote. In this one statement, they said that like 5 times. Just keep that in mind. They really wanted to say that this would not hurt competition or the American consumer. In a statement, Paramount Skydance responded to the green light, stating, quote, we are grateful for the Department of Justice's thorough review of this transaction, as well as the work of the other agencies that have completed their reviews and provided clearance to date. This deal is pro-competitive, resulting in a stronger company, better positioned to compete against dominant technology platforms in an industry increasingly defined by intense competition for audiences, talent, technology, and investment. Which, of course, of course Paramount would be like, this is so pro consumer and pro competitive, and of course our deal is. Like, anyway, I read that and I was like, yeah, I bet you think that. Other points from the Department of Justice and their whole commentary, like following the investigation. Specifically, and according to Deadline, the department sided with Paramount's arguments regarding the strength of the Paramount-Warner competitors, agreeing that the merger would create a more, quote, robust alternative option to streaming heavyweights like Netflix, Disney Plus, and Amazon. So that was a big point that Paramount Skydance had been making, is that we don't compare to Netflix, to Amazon, to Disney Plus, to all these other people. This just allows us to be in league with them, was their argument. And apparently the DOJ agrees with that, seeing a potential combined Paramount Plus and HBO Max as good for competition. Because remember, if this goes through, HBO Max is going to fade away and be merged with Paramount Plus. Furthermore, it also noted that streaming is its own market. The DOJ does not see... So another argument was that they were competing with YouTube and TikTok. The DOJ said, no, you don't compete with those two. Streaming is its own area, separate from YouTube and TikTok in the content creator space. So they don't count as competitors. Henceforth, according to the DOJ, that's why they sided with Paramount. The antitrust division did go further, investigating whether the company or the new company would, quote, hold content captive with this new conglomerate. So a lot of people are worried that Harry Potter or Star Trek or whatever would be now in one company, you never see it anywhere else. And so, like, if you're a Trekkie, or if you like Harry Potter, or if you like Transformers, or if you like whatever, DC Studios, you would have to pay whatever Paramount decided that you'd have to pay, because you literally couldn't get it anywhere. However, the DOJ doesn't see it like that. They argue, quote, even when studios such as Paramount license content on exclusive terms to another streamer, they typically maximize the value of that content by moving it from one streamer to another at the end of a license term to broaden the audience exposure across differentiated distribution channels. Or, essentially, they're stating, nah, they have historically made more money selling their show rights to other streamers for short timelines. That's essentially what that means, is they make money selling it to other people and giving, like, so Doctor Who, for example, we'll talk more about Doctor Who later. It's on my mind. Doctor Who was on Netflix, then it's on HBO Max, then it's on Disney, now it's on AMC Plus. Why do you think that is? Because they say, hey, for these 3 years, you can show our show, and a lot of people will go to your platform to watch it. And then when that runs up, they put it up to a bid, and the highest bidder streamer gets the show. So that's essentially what they're saying, is they're leasing out their shows. And so the antitrust division feels that even with that conglomerate, they will still be selling their IPs or their shows to other streamers because they want to get in front of different audiences and they want to maximize their profits is essentially what they're arguing. So the whole idea of holding content hostage, to their point, they feel it's null and void. Then the conversation pivoted to film. In the DOJ's argument, recent evidence proves that competition within the film industry is extensive. And that is a quote. They said in their statement, competition in film is extensive right now, pointing to the recent success of films outside of legacy studio models in the recent months as their point in case. Using examples such as Project Hail Mary from Amazon MGM, The Backrooms from A24, Michael from Lionsgate, and Obsession from Blumhouse, they're saying, look at these films. These films come from non-powerhouses, even Amazon MGM technically. Like that was literally their Hail Mary was Project Hail Mary because they needed to make money to make that a sustainable business practice. Neon, A24, Blumhouse, they're saying, look at the competition. Why would this make anything different if they were to be together? Which we're going to argue. We're going to have our own points later, but that's what the DOJ is arguing right now. Interestingly, the department concluded by negating comparisons to the Disney Fox acquisition in 2019. If you've heard anything about this, that's what a lot of people are talking about is, oh, this is like Disney when Disney was approved by Fox and then Disney stopped releasing Fox movies, which is what happened. However, the DOJ points to external factors like COVID as to why they stopped distributing and why they had limited releases of Fox IPs, and point to the recent House of Mouse continued spending and output in recent years since COVID, including, think about like Searchlight and the different Fox related IPs that are getting released. And again, what was like the Fantastic Four is now being released under Marvel. In short, there's no better way to cap how the DOJ felt regarding the deal than with the following statement from their own press release stating, quote, based on extensive interviews with market participants and review of the parties' own documents that were made in the ordinary course of business, the parties have a clear path to injecting additional competitive measures across the media ecosystem to innovate and provide value to creators and consumers. Outside of the Department of Justice, this is far from the end of the road for Paramount in their conquest for Warner. As we talked about last week, up to 10 state attorneys general, led by California's Rob Bonta, are working on a lawsuit aimed at blocking the merger that could be introduced by as early as the end of this month. The European Commission is currently conducting their own investigation under the European Union's foreign subsidies regulation. With this, they're getting a deep look into the $24 billion promised from sovereign wealth funds like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi. So that was a lot of people where they were confused and where they were worried about that funds. While we aren't looking into it, the EU is. And they're trying to say, what are you promising them? Why are you giving them this money? What's going on here? According to Variety, the commission has a self-imposed July 14th, provisional deadline for this decision, as well as a July 7th deadline for their standard merger rules investigation. So the EU has two different investigations going on, and they're a week apart on their provisional deadlines. And provisional because they could extend it, right? Like they're not saying that's our hard deadline, it's provisional. Remember, just last week, Paramount was like, hey, we'll sell our children's stuff so that you will allow us to do this. So they're not just looking into the children content. They're looking into the money about where this is coming from.
Outside of the children, too.
The children. Outside of the EU, the UK, which in the country has its own version of the Federal Communication Commission or like the trade, whatever. The country's Competition and Markets Authority, they began their own investigation into the merger this past Tuesday. And here in the States, outside of the attorney's general lawsuit that could be coming, the deal faces backlash from its own, as over 5,500 creators, including directors, actors, producers, and more, all have signed an open letter of opposition to the deal. In their argument, the exact opposite of the DOJ's findings are what will happen. They worry about competition within the industry, higher prices for the consumer, and the elimination of jobs. Something all but confirmed by Paramount themselves, as this is according to Variety, they anticipate more than $6 billion in cost savings after the merger. Where do you think that cost savings will come from?
They probably are going to change the paper that they use in the printers.
Where will that cost cutting come from?
I just told you.
People will lose jobs as well as the paper will change. as well as the paper. No, you're right.
There's a thinner
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah.
It's going to tear easier. It's going to get jammed.
Instead of 2-ply toilet paper, they have single. And
Yep.
they're not buying coffee pods for the offices anymore.
No more K cups, dude.
No.
You gotta scoop it and do it on your own. You actually have to use a paper towel instead of a filter.
Yeah,
but it's not like Bounty, so it's not gonna fit, like it's just gonna deteriorate like a Great Value brand.
Yeah,
they're actually switching to Great Value.
Everything Great Value.
Yep.
Looky, the donut shop K cups aren't bad.
They canceled their Costco's membership.
Not the Sam's Club.
Nope. They're going to Walmart for their paper towels.
The monthly office pizza party no longer canceled.
Nope. Barely even yearly.
Oh.
Try decadely pizza party.
What's a decade pizza party? But it's like they cut it like super thin.
Makes it more special. Oh yeah. It's thinner pizza too.
Yeah. But no, that cost cutting will come from people losing their jobs. I mean that's just anyway. And again, as we talked ad nauseum about,
but think about how many AIs get jobs.
Something too that like $6 billion in cost cutting or in savings, and they're talking about releasing like 50 to 60 movies a year. How?
Sounds great.
Anyway.
AI.
Yeah. We've talked about this ad nauseum, but the merger would combine Warner Brothers and Paramount Film Studios, every IP like DC Studios, Transformers, Star Trek, and more, as well as major news and cable outlets like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, CNN, CBS, MTV, TNT, and beyond. So there's a lot of not so good stuff coming under one umbrella. And mind you, Paramount owns CBS, and there's been a lot of not good things happening at CBS News and Dateline and 60 Minutes, like we talked about last week. It's a bonfire over there right now. Like, it is a dumpster fire, actually. It's not good. And now that same company is trying to buy Warner and other news stations and a lot of other things. Anyway, with that out of the way, Jake, do we agree with the DOJ's ruling?
I don't think so.
Expound.
So something that recently happened, and I'm not going to say where or to whom, but I have an acquaintance, a friend of sorts, friend of friend, who recently had the FBI show up to his doorstep looking for him. He was not there. So they called him and they interviewed him over the phone for an hour about a job he had 2 years ago with a Democratic Party that, like, I don't know, I think it was a nonprofit that like had people sign up to vote. And there's an article about it, but very interesting. And it was basically looking for election fraud and all that 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Kash Patel has people going to people's houses for work they did 2 years ago? For election fraud?
For a certain nonprofit organization that a friend of a friend I know.
For election fraud that never happened?
Yeah. He won, by the way.
I was about to say, bro, like that was literally, you made the point. Like, he's like, we got to stop the fraud that got me in office.
So anyway. I'm not going to say that the DOJ wasn't persuaded. I'm not going to say that they were. I'm not going to say that they weren't. I'm going to say that it's odd how it's kind of going all according to plan.
I hate to be this way. Like, I don't like to be conspiratorial, and I don't like to be so political, because you want to think that the government genuinely, in an antitrust situation, I'm not talking about like the government having your best interest. Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm not that naive. But you would want to think that like antitrust, where those laws are in place to literally make sure that conglomerates like this don't happen. You would want to think that they would have some sort of non-bias. And why do you think the guy said some of the things he was saying earlier, talking about like in this press release, in this statement? Why do you think they were talking about 8 months of research and investigation with the institute's highest or like leadership or whatever? Because they're trying to say we're not biased. That's what they're trying to say. But it's kind of hard to agree with that when the guy that's owning Paramount, that's about to buy Warner Brothers, which, by the way, again, Warner Brothers owns CNN, which is his biggest opposition in the media space politically. The guy trying to buy that is the son of your best friend and one of the richest men in the world, a known donor to your current political party. Come on. And like,
What are you gonna do?
Again, think about what's happened to CBS, which was kind of middle of the road. It leaned left sometimes. Colbert gets sacked. He's fired, right? He's out of here. Dateline or not Dateline, sorry, that's NBC. 60 Minutes in the can, right? CBS News, a dumpster fire right now. You're telling me Trump doesn't see that and he's like, I'd love to see that happen to CNN. You know, like that's exactly like, come on. So yeah, I think I disagree solely because I think that this is just a biased take. I don't think that anything they came up with, some of it, like I understand, and I do think they're coming from a genuine place where they're like, look, HBO Max. I kind of disagree with HBO Max, but specifically Paramount Plus, and this shows how low Paramount Plus is in their eyes. Paramount Plus does not compare. HBO Max might, but like the fact that in their eyes, let's strip away the bias and let's assume it's not for just one sentence. When they compare Paramount with HBO, they're like, yeah, you still might not compare to the others. That's how lowly they see Paramount Plus. You know, like that. I can understand some of that. I don't necessarily see this as, I do see it as apples to oranges with the Disney Fox acquisition, but that one probably shouldn't have gone through either. However, you can't deny the fact that this is just, there is a level of biasy here with the boss. You know what I mean? The boss down the hall happens to be friends with the money grubbing dad of the guy trying to buy this. Like, you can't deny that. And so I do not agree with the ruling. Again, I think we have laws in place, and I think it's imperative that media stays, even if, like, CNN is biased to the left. Fox News is biased to the right. That is undeniable. But it's important we have them. It's important that we have them. That is the point of freedom of speech. That's the point of media, is to offer varying perspectives in how you take in media and in your political alliances, right? I don't like this. It is a matter of personal opinion as well as it is just, I just think they're wrong. But on top of all of it, I just think we have a reason we have these laws, and it's sad to see them get disregarded. And it's not the first law this year that we've seen have this issue. But yeah, antitrust laws out the window. But let's break away a little bit from this, because there's still a lot, as we outlined, that Paramount has to go through in order to even get approval worldwide, nonetheless in the States, and a few other things going on here. With so many moving pieces, what do we think the biggest hurdle will be for Paramount? Of all the things going on after the DOJ, from the EU to the UK to the Attorneys General lawsuit and beyond, what do we think will be the biggest hurdle for them?
Even if it goes like through, like, are people gonna, I guess they will, flock to Paramount Plus, or I don't know, maybe if they're after their shows. I don't know if they can, I don't know what they're gonna, 60 movies, you know what I'm saying? Like, is this really gonna, like, they're not gonna keep their promises. It's not gonna work out. I don't know what their plan is.
They might do 40. I think that like an average major size production label will release 30. And that's where that 60 number comes from, is he's like, no, we'll have 2 of them. So we'll double it or whatever. Or maybe it was 30 and it was 15 per. That sounds more doable. Maybe I'm accidentally conflating the number, but the idea is the same. It's like, we're going to do a huge number, like double the normal number. I might have been 15 actually, but the point remains the same. Sorry, it's been like 5 months since we've talked about this, so there might be some numbers that I'm flubbing, but the point remains the same. Is they're trying to double, because they're like, we're not going to be one. They're going to operate independently of each other, even though they're going to be under the same house. So each of them will produce, whether it's 15 or 30 movies a year. I think the thing is, they will make it seem like people are flooding to them, because when they combine HBO Max, they're just going to count those subscribers in with Paramount's and say, look, people are flooding to us. They love us. They wanted us to be this way. And it's like,
they cancel all those deals, man.
They better honor the AT&T. That's
all I'm saying.
All I'm saying, because I don't know if I'm going to pay for all that, because it's going to be like $30 a month. for that mega app.
I'm not
But
sticking around.
so here's the thing. The Attorney's General lawsuit, depending on which judge it goes to in the Supreme Court or whatever local court they file it with, because it's 10 states.
Yeah.
We could see that, like that junction, stop the merger, which only might put in a time barrier, not really break it up. Because the thing is, a judge can order a breakup, and then some other judge is going to say, not, I overturn that. We're going to have, it's going to be bureaucratic red tape for a while. But I think this lawsuit will cause a bump. I think it will cause time. While that's happening, I really, really think the EU is going to say no. I think one of the UK or the EU is going to deny it, which is going to create an interesting vacuum here. Because if we say they can, but the rest of the world says no, what's going to happen? The only reason I feel like one of those two, if not both, the UK or the EU will say no, is because they're not bound to the biases of us, right? Like whatever we have, whatever biases that allow a more conservative leaning instituted judge at whatever level of court, or if you're a conservative politician put in place or elected in a conservative state that is in the DOJ or in Congress or in whatever, right? Those things don't apply in the EU. A lot of the people in the EU would say that our liberal is conservative in their countries. So you think those countries are going to look at this just capitalistic greed and say, yeah, that's cool? No, they're not. Especially with the Qatar and the Abu Dhabi money. That sovereign wealth funds, that's going to, and the children's stuff, like that's all going to be a lot of trouble for Paramount. I think one or both will say no, and I'm curious to see what the fallout would be from that. Like, how will we respond and what will be done? Obviously, there will be some loophole they'll try to find legally, but what will happen?
Switzerland.
Yeah. A Swiss bank, but a Swiss proxy business that is still owned by Paramount, but no one knows it or whatever. I guess a good question with all this is, what do we think the best outcome of all this is? Like, what could be the best? What do we hope to see? If the worst comes to worst, what's the best we can look forward to,
Eesh. HBO Max sticks around.
Yeah.
Now I'm dreaming.
Yeah. I mean, they'll probably end up calling it like HBO Max Plus or something. Like they'll like it.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Let's put plus on the end of it.
Oh,
like
Paramax.
Disney.
Paramax. There you go.
HBO Mount.
Mount HBO.
Yeah. It's gonna be one of those streamers.
You know what all I imagine
it's gonna
is
be one of them hotel streamers.
They're in a marketing, like a meeting, and they're pitching these names. And all I imagine is, that scene and this is such a deep cut, and I'm so sorry. That scene in that the SpongeBob Christmas special, one of the early ones, when they can't curse. So he's standing out in the snow, and he realized SpongeBob was trying to be nice to him, and he goes, "I feel like," and it shows a donkey, and he goes, "Ha, hee haw." That is like all I imagine. All these people are like Mount HBO, and all I imagine is just the donkey appearing and ha. Like that's all I imagine is that. That's how it feels.
Well, maybe we'll get a donkey picture and sound effect for the
That'd be awesome. I feel like that is what's going on. The best outcome of all this. Okay, hear me out. This is like my dream of dreams. Because of the lawsuit or because of whatever, this gets drawn out for like years. Because Paramount has that ticking fee that they pay Warner. So Warner will keep making stuff, but that ticking fee means Paramount pays billions and billions of dollars to Warner to keep the deal, right?
How's Zaslav doing?
Then, something about Zaslav interesting happened. We'll talk about. I don't think I have it in the what you should know, but it's here. They denied his like $160 million pay or something. Like the board at Warner Brothers just said, nah. I gotta find it. It's in the recent Dailies newsletter. I'm happy you said that because I can find it. But that's my dream, is that like that happens, and then because this is the other thing too. Regardless, at some point, the House is gonna flip.
Yep.
Congress is going to be more liberal. The House is going to be more blue, and our president's going to be more blue, regardless of if it's in 2028 or 2032, right? It's going to happen. That's just the way of nature. Like, I'm not saying I like that. I'm not saying I hope for that. You're going to have Democrat and you're going to have a Republican. Like, it's just going to happen. When that happens, they're going to be forced to break up. Like that is going to happen. That like, it's only a matter. That's why I'm like, I think that you see these attorneys general trying to put in just a roadblock and just buying time, because there's a real opportunity that this fall, politically, there might be changes. And right now it's a very thin margin in the House of Representatives that conservatives own majority of the House, right?
Mm-hmm.
A couple of elections don't go their way, and all of a sudden, a lot of the things that are happening right now with our current administration are no longer allowed because the House is on the opposite side, which would just grind our government to a standstill, essentially, right? Like, because you'd have, if Congress doesn't flip with it, then you got just bottlenecking. However, that could also mean this has a lot more problems. So this is where it's interesting is I just want to, because I'm not saying I'm leaning liberal. I'm not saying I'm leaning conservative. What I am saying, because I hate this type of greed, I want to see this get drawn out, and I want to see the Ellisons pay Warner Brothers billions of dollars just for them to remain competitors. Like that would be a dream upon dreams. That would be absolutely amazing. Zaslav gets booted into the curb like the crook he is, and that's what happens. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
As long as Batman comes out, I'm chilling.
Yeah. Please don't get rid of James Gunn. I know some people might disagree with that, but like, let James Gunn cook for a little bit longer. Let me find you.
The gun don't jam. That's what I see all the time.
Let me find that the dailies where it was talking about that.
Come on, Ryan.
I'm looking. You like how I fill the dead air with just my voice?
He just keeps talking and talking.
And I'm looking.
All right, I'm just going to start with what you should know. All right, here we go.
No. We're not there yet.
I'm there.
No, you're not. Hold on, I'm hunting for it. Hold on. How do you spell his name?
How was y'all's day?
I am actually having a tough time finding it. I thought it was in here. Oh, yeah. Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders voted to reject David Zaslav's $165 million 2025 pay package in non-binding vote.
Non-binding, though.
According to the Wrap, they reject the pay package. Per an SEC filing on Friday, a total of 244.5 million shares voted in favor of the package, compared to 1.31 billion shares voting against. Zaslav's latest package, which was more than tripled from 51 million in 24, included 3 million base salary, 110 in option awards. Compared with median salaries, that's a lot more. So I'm looking for the fallout from this. There is none. It's just
no Fallout 4.
It's just a bunch of numbers. Anyway, let's just leave it at that. But they did in a non-binding vote reject his pay package.
Well,
which is fun to see. Anyway,
Bro's got it out for this guy.
I hate David Zaslav. Okay.
Oh my god.
I said it. I said it.
Chill.
Oh, dude. I'm not gonna say. Never mind. We're gonna move on. Any final thoughts?
No.
Coming up after the break, we talk about what you should know before you go. We hit the quick headlines, so we'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Screen. You've made it to segment 3, which is always our quick hit segment where we tell you what you should know before you go. So these headlines are fantastic. They're important, but they're not quite worth the big storyline. They're not quite worth the whole 45 minutes to an hour worth of discussion. So we give it to you very quickly, give you our thoughts, and then we get you out of here. So before we get into it, I just always take this moment to say thank you just for being here. Thank you for allowing us to do this, allowing me and my amazing friends to produce this type of content for you. We have a lot of fun coming here every week. We have a lot of fun keeping up to date with all the stuff, reading the comments or reading the stories so you don't have to, and giving you a comprehensive deep dive while also allowing you to get your own opinion. But beyond that, we're here to be creative and we're here to have a good time. And you allowing us to do this is beyond me. And so I thank you very much for being a part of the Beyond the Screen family. We are the true BTS. I'll say it. BTS.
Hey guys, I gotta go.
Jake's over there. Yeesh. Again, here's Jake. Here's Jake. Or no, wrong one. Sorry. Here's Jake. Yeah, that Jake is freaking out right now, but I said it. Anyway, you know I'm being sarcastic. But anywho, thank you for being here. We love you. Like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the notification bell so you know when we release episodes. It's every Monday at like 9 or 10 p.m. Regardless.
6 or 7.
No.
No.
If you would like us, we've actually been contemplating live streaming. We've talked about it before. You guys responded very well to our last live stream. If you'd like to see us go live every Monday, let us know and we will be here. But other than that, that's all we got or at least
Live on Twitch.
No, it'd be YouTube. But anyway,
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into what you should know before you go. I'm going to skip the first one, Jake. We're going to do the first one last. I should have put it last, but we're going to
want to talk about BBCs?
I do.
I mean, the BBC.
Anyway, Drewski has been cast in an upcoming rom-com starring Emma Roberts and Chris Pine. The online personality and comedian will reportedly play Robert's bodyguard. What do we think?
I don't know. I think Drewski's pretty funny.
Oh, he's hilarious.
That's interesting. I can't wait to see what that entails. Chris Pine's just there. Like, I feel like he's just doing it for.
He's at the stage in his career where he doesn't have to do like the franchises anymore. Like he's done being Captain Kirk. He's just having fun, and I love that. I love that he's just doing roles he likes. You know. D&D was an underrated movie, by the way. It was just fun.
Say, what's his last one?
It's not D&D. He was in one between then and now, but I can't remember.
A podcast.
I don't keep up with the Pine. I'm sorry.
Pine.
The Pine.
Wish. He was in Wish, that one movie. You know, Wish. I think he was the villain. Right. I think he was the villain.
Right.
D&D might have been the last big one. Pullman. What about Pullman? You remember Pullman? He had long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Crispy. That's about it.
I like Chris Pine. I like that he's just a guy doing this thing. He's not really.
Oh, he directed Pullman too. I mean,
that's
Pullman
cool.
1. He directed
cool.
Pullman as well.
Yeah.
So
like a good Chris Pine film. But going back to like Drewski, you've seen his skits online and like his stunts. I'm shocked it took this long for someone to be like, "You're a pretty good actor, actually." Like get him in a comedy.
Yeah. He's the next big thing.
You think so?
I started watching Tires with Shane
Gillis.
Shane Gillis. Yeah, because there was one episode I was like, that seems like a funny episode. I got to get to that. I didn't get to that. I get secondhand embarrassment with comedy shows like that where it's like real world where they're like caught, I guess. Like I can't do it. I can't do the secondhand embarrassment.
Didn't you watch I Think You Should Leave? Did you not like Tim Robinson?
No, I did not like that.
Okay. I think that's so funny.
A lot of though it was I didn't like the Paul. I stopped watching the Paul Rudd and
that one was rough. That one was just awkward, rough, but like it was still funny. I Think You Should Leave because of how absurd it is.
There's ones that it's not embarrassing. They're like the pig mask, like the pig with a mask on it.
Yeah.
Like that one's not a secondhand embarrassment or like he's doing something in a public space that would be embarrassing. He's genuinely tweaking out about a pig rummaging through his house because he's has sleep deprivation and he's.
Did you say that thing? And like he's trying to sell a doggy door. Yeah.
Even the one where he's like caught looking at this like weird video game. That doesn't bother me any, but there are some that do.
The hot dog car, that like I know that one's super basic.
That's funny.
That's so good though. Like I love a good Tim Robinson. I like that deadpan awkward humor. Yeah. He's got a new show. I think it's The Chair Company on Max. I need to watch that.
Yep.
But
it's not new at all.
Drewski, it's newer. Drewski is in that same kind of vein. Yeah. Where it's like he's not quite the absurdist Tim Robinson, but he is like, I mean, he's at NASCAR painted up like a white redneck.
That's not even his most recent one.
No, Erica Kirk one. That one was it wasn't Erica Kirk. Good. Wasn't Erica Kirk. He's just funny. Like but what makes him funny is that he's so like in touch with like the irony of the internet. Like it's not like he's in on the joke.
He's aware.
That's what's he's very aware. And that's what's funny is like when he makes a joke, it doesn't go too far. It is just funny. Like it's just far enough to where it's like maybe he shouldn't do that, but that's pretty funny.
His auditions for this record label.
That's all like that. Those are so freaking good, dude. Like I'm shocked that he's not been called to do. And now, if I were in his position, I wouldn't, because to be honest with you, he's probably above it now in terms of like where it is culturally. But I'm talking about SNL. Like I'm shocked he's not gotten a call from SNL, because he would be like if they could get him. If they're scared, if they could get him on the air, I think he would be great. But if I'm Drewski, I'm not bigger than SNL per se, but I feel like my thing is better. You know, like I feel like my audience is tailored to me. But my point is I'm shocked he's not gotten a call before this, and I think that we're going to see him act a lot more. Anyway,
I would say so. Your next one here is what I could see him in.
Yeah. Sony has reportedly greenlit 24 Jump Street, and apparently it's the meta joke that they took so long to greenlight the next installment that they just skipped 23. And it's apparent, reports are Channing Tatum, Jonah Hill, and Ice Cube are all expected to return.
Awesome.
I love that comedies are back. Like we had Pink Panther, not Pink Panther. Yeah, no, what was it last year with Liam Neeson?
Oh, Naked Gun.
Naked Gun, that's it. It wasn't, I was thinking Leslie Nielsen. The Naked Gun, and now, I mean, obviously Scary Movie 6, and now another 24 Jump Street. Like I'm pretty excited for that.
Chat, are we in a recession? Chat, are we going to get another Transformers movie?
That's my next one.
Is it Megan Fox in something coming out? Are we in a recession?
Probably. I don't know. According to a source, that is our next story, though. A new Transformers film is in development with Welcome to Derry writer. How do you pronounce that last name? Fuchs?
Fuch, guys. What do you think?
There's an S there. I'm going to say his last name is Fuchs. Jason Fuchs attached. The writer a writer from Welcome to Derry. Michael Bay and Steven Spielberg are both signed on to produce and executive produce respectively. There's a lot of Transformer stuff in the works right now, or talked about. They've not really. I will say, obviously, one was goated. Marketing screwed that one. It should have a sequel, and it should have continued. It's sad that it won't. Transformers 1's great. I've not been one for the spin-offs. I'm not really. I don't know. I feel like they kind of lost the plot after like Dark of the Moon. But I'm not. There are a few good ones here and there. Like the Bumblebee movie was meh. It was okay. It wasn't bad. But I'm not one. I don't really like that they rewrote a bunch of the canon. Like they're like, oh yeah, by the way, Transformers were here since Merlin, and like World War II.
Two completely different times.
Like, huh? Like, what do you mean? So I'm not really a fan of that, but I'm excited to see more of this. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind just rebooting it. Just like move on. Sam Witwicky and the whole thing with Michael Bay's over. You ran it. You made 7 of them.
Mark Wahlberg.
That's the continuation of the Sam Witwicky one. That is like a sequel to the Shia LaBeouf ones, because Shia got in trouble and they couldn't cast him anymore.
Didn't they kill him?
No, Sam Witwicky's still alive in the continuity. But that's kind of my thing, is like, just move on. Just restart. I wouldn't mind seeing a restart.
I saw a TikTok where it was talking about how Shia LaBeouf or Sam Witwicky was always about to crash out. He was always
kicking the car
right there.
Yeah.
He's just borderline crash. I mean, but like, wouldn't you?
I was about to say, like, if I were driving and the next thing I know, I am in the middle of a war zone with hulking metallic monsters, and my car turned into a humanoid fighting machine and was just like, wah, and just started fighting another one, I'd be like, ah, like I'd be, yeah. Well, that's so cool. Like, yeah, I like that one too. But no, I feel like I would be terrified. There's one, I think it was the third one, where like they're on like the highway and Bumblebee transforms and like grabs him and transforms into the car or whatever. And when he lands in the seat, because you see him in the middle of all that, he lands in the seat and he's just high pitched. he's like high pitched screaming. That's
Yeah.
real. That's real.
Yeah.
Like that. I totally same boat. I'd be terrified, petrified even. That's why like you miss Sam Witwicky and like Shia LaBeouf was because it's unhinged, but it is like relatable. Like
Yeah.
I would also be petrified in that moment. Like so yeah.
It's
But
gonna get rebooted, and he's gonna be like the Obi-Wan Kenobi in the new Transformers, where he's like Sam, and it's like, well, Shia LaBeouf's gonna be like aged, like he's gonna be old by the time that one
Yeah.
comes out, and he's gonna be like, I've been around.
Poor guy, dude. Like he's had a real rough go. Like the thing is too, he was not treated well. Like growing up, like even Stephen Days back in Disney through his train, like he was not treated well, and I think that it kind of shows in he's substance abuse, and it's sad because he's a genuine talent, and you could like when you hear him interview, he's hurting. Like you can hear it. And I know I'm being a little parasocial with that, but it's just like, you know, when you see somebody and they're just like, you can just see the pain. Like he talked about his Holes days, like in a Comic-Con or like a convention once. And it's just tragic how he was treated. And so it's just like, you know, I'm not going to sit here and act like I understand what he went through, or like, I'm not going to be that parasocial and be like, oh, what a guy. But I will say like, there's something there, and it is devastating, especially like growing up. Like I watched even Steven. I love the movie Holes, Transformers, like that, the guy that was the face of all that, to see him in pain like that, and for him to describe those stories is like, it's hard to listen to. But yeah, I would like to see him get healthy, but it would be cool to see him back as like a lead of these, and like back in the saddle, if you will, and like but in a healthy way. But anyway, moving on from Transformers.
Emily says it's Fuchs or Fuchs.
Fuchs. Jason Fuchs. That makes sense. Fuchs. What did I say? Fuchs? I'm happy I went that instead of anything else for the time.
You could have said it.
No.
You could have.
No, I like Fuchs. Anyway, Jason Fuchs is apparently attached to write Transformers, and Welcome to Derry was awesome. Highly recommend. Very good film.
Yeah.
Very good film. Anyway, where are we? Here we are. Horror giants Atomic Monster and Blumhouse, the two production teams behind both Obsession and The Backrooms. What are you doing over there? You're like a dog with a squirrel.
You didn't know where we were.
I found it at the corner of my eye. All I see is Jake just like flipping from one side to the other. Anyway, Atomic Monster and Blumhouse, the two production teams behind both Obsessions and The Backrooms, have announced their next adaptation, with Dead by Daylight officially getting the live-action treatment. According to Screen Thrill on Instagram, the film will, quote, reportedly explore the entity's universe through original survivors and killers rather than simply retelling the game. I have to confess something, Jake. I'm not really a Dead by Daylight fan.
Yeah, I don't like those type of games anyway.
So I don't know what the entity. I understand. I can put together the entity as like kind of like a godlike creature that's like putting these things together with these killers and the people trying to outrun them. And like I've played Dead by Daylight. I just think it's too sweaty. I'm here for a good time. But I'm interested. I know a lot of people are very excited for this. I was shocked in a state where everything gets the remake or the live action treatment, and there's a lot of hate towards that. When I was reading the comments under this post, people were hype for this.
Eldritch God.
The entity is an eldritch god.
Yeah, and it traps them in a pocket dimension. And
That
it
makes
feeds
sense.
exclusively on the negative emotions of its captives. Hope and despair. And it's
That's
done
fun.
through a continuous cycle of trials and tribulations, often forcing survivors to repair generators while killers hunt them down. It's got something for generators, I guess. And
That's the point. I mean, that's like the game. That's like the big mechanic.
it's a game, but like that's the
Yeah.
point. And so that's what it's going to go over, I guess. But not a retelling of the game, but like also basically the retelling of the game.
That's going to be cool. Like seeing more of that eldritch horror and that kind of that the dimensional being that is the entity then. I'm interested. This gives me a little bit of Until Dawn, where they had that film last year and it just didn't really make sense. It didn't like connect that well with the lore of the game or the story. So like it's giving me that. No reason. They haven't talked about anything else of the story, but I feel like it'll be like that, where people will be like, it's okay. Like it wasn't really Until Dawn. Like I feel like that's where we'll go with this, is people will be like, it wasn't really Dead by Daylight. Like that's what I feel like we'll hear from people all over the internet. Anyway,
I'm trying to look up pictures of the entity.
I don't think there's
They
like
don't exist.
Barry say I don't think there's a singular picture of a eldritch god. I don't think you're gonna see that.
Says you.
This isn't Cthulhu, okay? This is
All right,
the
buddy.
bro. This is the entity. Who do you think
You're
he
the
is?
entity.
Thank you.
An eyeball.
He's an eye.
Maybe. Sauron.
Yeah, that's literally okay. Anyway, we're moving on before we find inspiration. Focus Features plans to launch a full-blown awards campaign for their hit Obsession.
Oh,
Duh.
yeah.
Duh. Like I would do.
Is
this
it
too.
gonna win?
Honestly,
Awards?
with again, Sinners won, dude. Like Sinners was a non-traditional horror film as well. So
You got Backrooms. You got Backrooms in your Oscar run.
Backrooms might win like set design or costume or proper. You know, it'll win something along those lines with like effects, but it won't win anything else. You know what? It might be nominated. I don't think it'll win.
Supporting actress.
I need to see what comes out this year. You know, honestly, yeah. Like I could see Renate Rinsev is her name, I'm pretty sure, who plays Mary. And she was nominated last year. This would be her second straight year of being nominated for an Oscar, which would be sick. But yeah,
I was talking about Clark. Big Clark.
Big Clark. That's like a 7'7"
Clark.
basketball player. You know that? He's a former basketball player. You know that? That's not a guy on stilts. That's a dude. That's how tall he is.
He's a dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just meant like straight Pirate Clark, not the guy. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I just want Pirate Clark to be up there.
That'd be pretty cool if we saw him like walk up. Honestly, he could.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then he eats Conan. Sorry.
You know, you're gonna see a bit where Conan is picked up and chewed on like that. Like that's gonna be what happens. Like with Clark in the whatever. Like you're gonna see that.
Really?
The big Clark. You know what I mean?
How do you know?
Well, you know what I'm saying.
No.
The big.
How
Clark.
do you know? No. How do you know he's gonna get eaten?
Because he's Conan.
Conan's. Oh yeah, forgot.
Because he's big. He's Conan. Do you not remember this past year at the beginning when they spoofed everything?
You think he'll? I don't think he'll get eaten. I think he'll be in the backrooms. Maybe. Whatever, Ryan.
This is the same guy who was climbing out of Demi Moore when the substance. You know what I'm talking about? Like
I forgot.
Those who watched the Oscars not last year but the year before will know what I'm talking about. Whenever he did the spoof of the substance, that's what you'll see.
The year before I watched on Hulu or something for free,
right?
and it screwed up and it kicked me off, and I was like, well, I guess I'm not watching the Oscars.
Yeah. Anyway, so Obsession will be nominated and probably win something.
Yes.
And lastly, the BBC officially cancels the upcoming Doctor Who Christmas special and puts the show out to tender. Showrunner Russell T Davies and his production banner, Bad Wolf Productions, also exit the franchise.
Still wasn't Grinder.
No. So for those who are wondering what it means to be put out to tender, not Tinder, T-E, not T-I. And for the BBC, that means they're looking for money. They're looking for a company to partner with. Essentially, they're wanting someone to create the show. So the BBC is the owner of the franchise, and they have executive oversight, but they pay another company to come in and make the episodes. So Russell T Davies is the showrunner, and his banner, his production house, Bad Wolf Productions, were the people that made the episodes, right? Like it wasn't the BBC exclusively. So what they're doing is they're looking for people to come in and help fund the show and to help make it. On top of it, this is for the life of the show. The thing is, what's really annoying about this is we haven't seen anything new Doctor Who in a year. And we were looking forward to this fall, this Christmas season, a year and a half after the last season ended, to kind of be the next steps of the show, because where the show left off is in a weird cliffhanger with a story that doesn't make a lot of sense, and we're trying to figure out where to go from here, right? Like, what's going to be the next step? And we've heard from, like, I think Murray Gold is his name. He's the conductor. He's the guy who like makes the music. Composer is the word I'm looking for the series with Russell T Davies. He was the old guy, like composer. He came back with Russell T Davies in 22 or 3. He had talked about how Davies was talking about having multiple different versions of the episode. He didn't know which way to go, and they're talking about how the Doctor is going to continue until this news. Because when this news dropped, Russell T Davies made a post that was like, "Oh, by the way, I never had anything written, and we're like 6 months away from when this was supposed to air, and I never approached anybody about playing the Doctor either." So he had nobody cast to play the character, and he had nothing written, and we're 6 months from showing, and he's had a year. What were you doing that whole time? What were you doing that whole time?
Whatever you wanted, man. Not that.
So the reason that this is important is because, again, instead of putting a bandage across the bullet wound that is the uncertainty of a future and releasing a Christmas special with no real goal in mind as to what you do next after that, they decided to take a step back, the BBC did, and say, let's actually think about what the future holds for the Doctor. Not just in terms of like if it's worth continuing, because it's beyond that. They're wanting to assure the long-term future of the show, which for me as a fan, I love to hear that because I want to see more of this. But it's probably time for a break anyway. So while they look for a good direction creatively, they look for a good production team that makes sense with what the show is and what it's going to be, and they let fans kind of cool off after almost a decade of uncertainty and really not great writing, I think this makes sense. Give the people a break. Let there be a desire for the show again and a demand for more episodes. Not just demand to see new, but a real demand for it to come back for about 3 to 5 years, maybe a little bit more than that. And let there actually be a reason to get back. The Timeless Child arc, for those who know what I'm talking about, destroyed the continuity in 2017-18. They've not recovered. It's time to let that sit, create a fun way to either retcon it or come back from it and eliminate that as a continuity breaker, and then reestablish the show as a behemoth in the creative space because people love Doctor Who. It's been around since 1962 or 63, right? Like it's been around and it's not going anywhere. The franchise will be fine. I think this is what Star Wars should do, and I think this is what Marvel should have done, and I'm actually happy to see it. So as sad as it is, I hate that I won't get any new Doctor Who for probably closer to 2030, but I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it.
Hey, Ryan, are you sure? I mean, that's a long time. You'll be old and might not even be able to remember the last episode you watched when it did came out.
I'll never forget the last episode I watched because it was so weird.
Emily says 1963. You're already old.
60. I said 62 or 63. I said like this or that, and I was right on the that.
Grandpa Gum.
Yeah. Anyway.
Grampy. He grumpy, isn't he? He packed at bedtime. 6, 7.
No. But yeah, I look forward to seeing what they come up with. Oh, but by the way, BBC, I am available if you're looking for if you're looking for a writer.
Finance.
So no, if you're looking for a showrunner, I am available
for free.
Can I just have a few dollars?
Gas money.
Can you just pay for me to get over there? Like, that'd be great.
Room and board. Room and board and travel.
Low key, honestly, compared to what they probably have been paying these writers, that's probably not a lot for them. So they could probably do that. Instead of a salary, can I just have like a bunk bed and
can I hang out with you guys?
Yeah. Can I go home with you?
Meet the wife and kids.
Can you imagine? It's like, all right, here's our new showrunner. He's running the show. He's going to have all the ideas. He's going to be the head of the writer's room. And yeah, this is the new face of Doctor Who. I walk in and I'm like, hello, everybody. First off, they're taken aback because I'm American. I'm not English or from the UK or the broader. They'll be like,
live reaction.
Yeah. But then at the end of my spiel, I'm like, yeah, this is my ideas and yada, yada, yada. And I need a place to stay.
Like a foreign exchange student.
Yeah. So my name's Ryan. I clean. And everyone's like, what? This guy. But in all seriousness,
what's your credentials? What have you written in the past? It's in the works. Still working.
I really like your show.
I've seen them. I've seen your show. Oh, well, that's all you really had to say.
Yeah, I have ideas. You have ideas? They get really excited.
What?
Yeah.
No, it's like, and I've seen the show. It's like, really? That's better than the last guy.
Yeah. And he made it back in 2005. Yeah, just shocked. Anyway, any other thoughts? Do you have anything about about Doctor Who? I know you haven't seen the show, but I'm curious.
No, I have nothing on Doctor Who. Besides, let's see here. Which one's my favorite? I always thought Matt Smith was the what I picture the Doctor, I guess.
That's cool.
But I would assume that's because he was the Doctor when I was up and coming, I guess, right?
Emily, jump forward. I know you also are a big Doctor Who fan. If you feel comfortable, tell us your take on Doctor Who and who your favorite Doctor is.
Who's the other guy?
David Tennant.
David Tennant. He's also a close second.
Thanks for asking, Ryan. My favorite Doctor is Christopher Eccleston.
Solid
I know
choice.
that's like not a super popular choice because he is kind of more of a dry, sad, bitter Doctor. Like we talked about before the show, I feel like this was probably a good decision on behalf of BBC because they have kind of like gone down in ratings and people aren't exactly happy with their decisions and the whole continuity errors that they have that reinforced. And so this is probably the best decision to let it die down and then reintroduce it. So really excited about that. I'm upset that there's no Christmas episode, obviously. So Ryan was kind of roasting me before we started because I am one of those people that really loved David Tennant and was not happy about them like changing up the whole look. But I understand it must be done.
No roast.
What are you gonna do?
Also, Matt Smith's overrated.
Whoa, I thought Eccleston is a really good choice, but Matt Smith being overrated is kind of crazy. I'm of the opinion there's
go ahead. Yeah, tell us about your Doctor choice.
Okay,
then.
I was gonna get there. I was saying there's no bad Doctor. I think every single person who's played the Doctor has genuinely done fantastic. I love their different takes on it. I love what they pull from the other actors and what they get rid of and what they bring with like their own flavor. You can argue that every Doctor after Tennant has been a form of Tennant, just a different flavor of Tennant, because David Tennant was so. I mean, that he is the Doctor. Like that is Doctor Who is 10, right? So like there is that argument to be made. However, my favorite Doctor is Peter Capaldi. I think Peter Capaldi is the GOAT. I love Peter as like he's got that dry sense of humor. He's who I would envision the Doctor would be like. I don't care. You can boo me. As a 1,000-year-old time traveling, regenerating being who's had all these people die and who's lived and seen all the horrors of not just war, right? Been the war doctor and had all these different things, and then still find a way to be the hero. I feel like he would be a little bitter. He would be a little bit like, not that he wouldn't care about people's feelings, because obviously he does. He's just old. And so I really like that. I felt like he was like an older version of 10 and 11 kind of combined. I love the raw emotion when you got into the depth of the character beyond season 1 of his run. So I really like Capaldi. I have his Sonic right on my desk at all times. I'm not going to say this is the best Sonic that's ever been held by the Doctor, but I love Capaldi. I am a nerd, but yeah, I will say my favorite Doctor is Capaldi, and I will stand by that. I love Peter. And again, there's no bad Doctor. There's no bad take. If you think Eccleston, if you think Matt Smith, that's fantastic. David Tennant is the Doctor. 10 is unequivocally the best version of that Doctor, and no one will argue that. But we all have our favorites, and mine's Capaldi. And I love Capaldi as not just an not just as a Doctor, but as an actor as a whole. But anyway, that's our take on Doctor Who. Godspeed, soldier.
Oh, we have a recommendation due, don't we?
Oh, that's true. Okay, whose turn is it? Mine? Or is it yours?
We skipped her.
Emily went last week, I think. Or have you gone, Emily?
She wrote it down, but I don't.
No, I was absent.
We skipped you last week, so it's Emily's turn. Emily.
Really?
We close out our show by doing a watch, or recommended watch of the week. Emily, give us your watch.
My recommended watch of the week is a indie low budget film called Coherence. It is a sci-fi psychological thriller mystery, and it's filmed like I know the director specifically was filming with like DSLR cameras in his actual home, and he called up several actor friends that he knew who were improv actors to just show up at his house, and all of the acting in the movie were given to the each actor from the director on cue cards, and he would just give them a prompt for the next scene, and they didn't even know what was going on until the end of the movie, until they had finished up rapping, and they also filmed in order, so like they didn't switch around. They couldn't have any hints on what was happening. So absolutely amazing. I can't give any spoilers. I did give you the genre. It's a definitely like a mind warp kind of thing. So be prepared to have like pause it for a while and contemplate and discuss with your friends. I absolutely recommend it. The only thing that I did not like about it is that because he was using like his like Canon like DSLR from like 2010, that you might get I got just a little bit dizzy every now and then because when he like zoomed in on people's faces because it was filmed a little bit so, like someone like The Office and Blair
Found
Witch and
footage.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets fuzzy like when he like zooms in and stuff, and I'm like, I just want to focus on the person's face and I can. So that was my literally only complaint. Everything was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Like my sister and I, after we were done, did a whole like Reddit deep dive, and we like got a piece of paper and we're like writing down like things in order because it's like the time is kind of like messed up and everything. Situations are like warped and you can't remember who's who and what's what and everything. So it's a lot of fun to watch with the group as well. So that's what I would recommend.
Name the film one more time for our people at home.
It's called Coherence from 2013.
And
Coherence is the
where can they
title.
find it?
Let me look really quick. Thank you. You guys just
Oh no, hold on. There we go.
Dude, you picked the wrong monkey every
No.
time.
It's because I press the last one and I don't take it down. I just put us back up. And so when I press the thing, it pulls up the last one.
Starting to piss me off.
you can watch it on Amazon Prime.
Ooh.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, has been Beyond the Screen. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be here next week. Bye-bye.